Hello, fellow anti-novelists. How much do I love you guys? I've already gotten a question about the setup of my Notebox. I'll go into this in more detail later, but let me give you an overview so when I talk about things, you know what I'm referring to. Generally, a Zettelkasten is built out of 3 sets of cards. A set of index cards lettered A to Z on which you record keywords so that you can find things later. Bibliography cards, which are kin to a library card catalog, A to Z, and records your primary source material, author, title, so forth. And your main card. This is where you record your thoughts and things that you actually want to save and develop for use later in whatever your content development is. So taking those 3 items, let's spin around and see how mine looks. Here's my main box. You'll notice my tabs are number 1000 through 7000. We'll get back to that in a minute. But this is where all of the thoughts live that I have developed from my primary resources. Then I have bibliography. This is akin to a library card catalog, lettered A to Z, and each one has author's name and title of various books and primary resources. Normally, one would have another set of cards, which is your index lettered A to Z, and your index is where your resources live, your keywords. So you might remember from yesterday, I had a keyword of manuscript studies, number 1501.1, but instead of having it on a card like a normal Zettelkastener, mine lives in my M binder, right under M. So just like you would put all of your keywords on your index card, so when you want to find something, you can go look at that keyword and see where it's filed, I do it in a binder. So let's dig a little deeper. Let's look at our bib cards for a second. What all goes on a bibliography card? Well, let me tell you. First here, if I'm looking at my Raymond Clemens manuscript studies book, I'm going to enter Clemens Ray. So this is going to be filed under C because that's the first author's last name. It's also Timothy Graham, so he gets second billing. Introduction to Manuscript Studies is the title. Cornell University Press, 2007 tells me my publication date. Why is Cornell University underlined in blue, you may ask? You might remember that I color code characters. So anytime I come across something that applies to one of my characters, I mark it with that character's color. In this case, Marshall Branch is my main male character. Where did he go to college? Why, he went to Cornell University. So that could be an important link later. It's just a visual cue to remind me. But how does one find information? Well, let's look at it. On the back of my bib card, you will notice I have numbers down the left side and corresponding keywords. Well, each of those numbers is a page number, and each word is something that I may want to go to that book to look up later. So for example, on page 23, I reference the PCA system of copying university manuscripts. That could be important because we know that my main characters deal in manuscripts. Finally, we have our main card. The main card is where you record your thoughts. This I have numbered 1501.1/1. It means that behind my card numbered 1501.1, which would be this card, I'm adding a second card. We'll get into collectives and branches later, but suffice it to say, just adding that little /1 tells me that that one goes behind this one. This card has notes on parchment and skin. It has notes on when we moved from papyrus to parchment. It has some information about checkout processes on page 10, where there's some photos I might want to use. And then there's a note. The VMS, which is the voynich manuscript, which appears in my book, takes a character point of view, referencing how it was made. So these are my notes to myself that would live in my main box filed behind 1501.1/1. So when I go to write, I may pull these cards out, and as I'm typing and working on a chapter or a scene, I have this information at hand and I can pull from it as I need to build that scene, add character details, make references to ideas that I had when I was doing primary reference resources, and use those in my book. So I hope that clears up in a simple way how you basically have 3 buckets. The buckets are cross-referenced using your systems, and that's how you draw out information so that you can use it in whatever item or knowledge product that you're creating. In my case, it's a work of fiction. So I hope that wraps it up. Drop a question in the comments if you have any further questions, but I will get deeper into this later. So thank you for joining me. Get your ideas out onto the page as soon as you can, because they won't stay in your head forever, and I will see you next time.